Hey everyone, Sophia here from My Great Challenger. Welcome back to my channel. Oh, the excitement. I am so excited to share this with you. Okay, so you saw the title. You probably already figured out, ooh, there's another piece of furniture in the house. Where did Sophia put it? So if you've been reading the blog, and I put the link down below, I've been doing weekly updates of everything you just don't see of what's going on around the house during the week, leading towards the weekend. And I mentioned last week in the last blog that my family, and actually it's the Ohio family, was sending over a truck of furniture that was heirloom furniture. And it wasn't a big truck, so don't imagine like some huge Mayflower thing, an entire house worth of furniture. It was a small, trailer type, box truck. And in it there was two pieces and a few other things. And I'm going to show you one piece today, and then I'll show you, maybe at the end I'll show you the other one. I don't think so though, because I'm going to tell you what it is, but I'm not going to show it yet because I have to do some work on it. So one piece of furniture is a Duncan Fife style dining room table, entirely made of mahogany. However, it needs to be refinished. So that would be one of my weekend project, and that used to belong to Scott's grandmother, who's now in heaven. And the one with the swan. So that used to be in what they called her pretty room, where she had all of her curio cabinets and china, because she was a big collector, like me, basically. So that dining room table will be refinished and replace the one that I have now. So it's going to be a summer project. But I'll insert a picture right here of what it will look like, hopefully, when it's done. Okay, and it extends to a 16, almost 18 seater. It's huge. Obviously, I'm not going to extend it that much most of the time. But the second piece is something that belonged to Scott's great grandparents. And it's a, what they call a men's handkerchief dresser. And I put it in a dining room because that's where we wanted it. And Scott loves it, I love it. So it was sent over our way last Monday, and you can imagine the house looked like a mess, but now it's all put together. So I'm going to show you the piece, and then today I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with it, because there's some not repair, but there's some cleaning and waxing and whatnot. So that's what I'm doing today. So let's look at it. All right, so if you're not familiar and you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing or visiting my channel. This is my dining room as it stands right now. I have this big Habersham, what do you want to call it? It's not a buffet, it's not a sideboard, it's, I don't know. It's a parlor storage thing, basically. Okay, so I have one curio cabinet here. So this is my dining room, and this is the one piece I'm talking about, and here it is. So yes, we love it. So if you're wondering what the cabinet is that used to be here, it's right behind me. I moved it. So let me tell you a little bit about this piece first, and then I'm going to tell you what I plan on doing with it. So this is what they call an Eastlake style handkerchief dresser, or a men's dresser. It's entirely made of walnut. You can see that. It's really in great condition. I've oiled it a little bit to see what the oil would look like, but all of that is going to be removed today anyway. The mirror is a silver back, and I don't know, it's the original mirror. I don't know if the camera can show you, maybe no, can see it. Okay, the mirror is about this thick, and it's silver backed. So yeah, really nice, and it's the original one. It's got two pieces of marble on either side. So there's one here, and then here's the other one. And in the middle, in that pit right here, there's another piece of marble. And back in the days, that's where you would put the big bowl with the pitcher, where you would wash with. Now, why is it called a men's handkerchief dresser? Because they used to obviously put all the handkerchief, the cravats, the bow ties, the cuffs. They used to add cuffs to their shirts, the collars. All of these things used to be in those drawers, including shaving tools. And then on top right here, they would put the violet water, cologne, whatever they were using. And then at the bottom in those two drawers here, they would put their shirts and maybe vests and things like that. The great thing about it is that it has a hidden drawer right here that was probably meant to hide a rifle. So you can open this. You can really don't see it when it's closed properly. The casters that are underneath it were added probably in the 50s. Now, there's a bunch of repairs that have been done on this dresser along the way, which tells me that it obviously was cherished by the family. These are not the original pool. These are porcelain, and you can see by the color of the screw. This was probably added, I would say, maybe in the 1960s. When you look at this here, the design is really, really pretty. However, this is not the original design. Right here, when you open the drawer, you can clearly see that there once was a lock, and the lock was removed. And what they did is that to hide the keyhole, they put those two little design right here. So when you look at it, it really looks like it's part of the design, but it's not. So eventually, I will replace those two with two darker color, more like this color buttons. Okay, so these are the original pool. There's one of them right here that's not, that was replaced. And I checked the locks on all the little drawers with my clock key, and they actually do work. So I bought two keys, because they're missing, in this color from one of the antique depot place where you can get that kind of thing. And I'm going to use them for those. So I bought two. There will be one here and one here, but I do need to oil the mechanism for those. But I'll show you later on. My grandfather clock key is a skeleton key with a barrel, you know, with the opening in the middle, and it actually works. They open. So that's that. So the main wood is walnut, but the inside of the drawers is some kind of maple, I think. And then they had this yellow paint in it. I'm not sure why. So what am I going to do today? I'm going to entirely clean this dresser, and I'm talking clean it with the Murphy's oil. Then I'm going to lightly restain it, very lightly, with a steel wool, because if you look at it really closely, you can see that there's a difference in color right here. And Scott wanted the piece to be a little bit darker, so I'm just going to do that. And then I have to wax it, and we're going to buff it. And I have to clean the marble and really bring it back to a beautiful white. So that's what I'm going to do. And here is the picture. So I just wanted to show you family members. So this is Estella. She is Scott's great-great-grandmother. And these are her parents, and that was his dresser. So that picture in a different frame is going to stay here. And we were thinking about using this as a bar to put the decanter here with the tumblers, and then I'll put some decorative items on the side. So yeah, what do you think, you guys? I really, really like it. Scott really, really likes it. It's a beautiful piece. I'm sorry, the clock is running. It's 10 o'clock. It's a beautiful piece. If you look on the top right here, you can see that there's a piece here that's a little bit different on the other side, but we don't care. I have to do some research because I don't know what this design here is. It looks like it could be wheat, some kind of flower, but then again, it looks like a bird. It could be a fish, we're not sure. But if I move up, you can see that it's got a lot of dirt in it. So all of this is gonna have to get clean. This is the 2x4 that I used to have behind the curio, if you remember, to hold the curio and stop it from moving back. The mirror is nicely attached, so eventually this piece here I have to remove. And if you're wondering how the mirror stays here, it's pretty ingenious actually. The mirror slides into this piece here. Oops, you see it's got some space, right? So you install the mirror and you slide it forward, and then here and here, and then here and here, you have to pull those drawers and insert screws, and the screws are going directly from inside the drawer into the mirror right here. So it's being held by 4 screws, and it's not going anywhere. And the marble keeps it stable as well. So I hope you like it. I know it's not for everybody. It may not be the perfect style for this dining room, but it's a heirloom piece that's been passed down from one generation to the other in the family, and it's definitely staying here, and it's well with us, and it's definitely being passed down. So I'm going to show you everything I'm going to use today to clean this and restore it to a beautiful patina and shine. And then on the other side, this is where the big curio went. And eventually those pieces will be replaced too. So I've removed all the drawers, and I'm going to start by cleaning the inside of the drawers. So I don't know if you can see, but there really is a lot of dust on the inside. I'm trying to stay in focus. So that's really what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean. I don't know if you can see the dust there, but it's really not gross because it's all dust and stuff. It doesn't bother me, but I do want to really clean everything in there. And once that's dry, this is not going to get stained, but this will get waxed, because that part of the wood really, I'm not in focus, I'm sorry, because that part of the wood really needs to be moisturized. So that's what I'm going to start with, is cleaning all of the tracks, the inside of the drawers, and what I have for that is very soft rags you can get at the Home Depot. I have a big bowl. You see, that's what the bowl would look like basically. I have a big bowl of hot water, and in it I have 1/4 of a cup of Murphy's oil. So let me get started. And this might be a very interesting project for me, at least, because I really want to get this piece back to its original beauty. I'm not going to sand it or have it sanded, but I do want it to look its best. Okay, so when was this done? Like I said, this is from between 1865 and 1868, and I would say that, see, it's pretty gross, right? Considering its age, it's really in a good shape. So it has been very well cared for a very long time. So I've washed the entire piece, and it wasn't too dirty except for the inside where the drawers were. But now I'm going to use the Howard's Feed and Wax, and this is actually what I'm going to put as a final product on this piece of furniture once I'm done with the refinishing. But what I want to do is use the wax and put it on the tracks, because the tracks are pretty old and they don't glide too well, and I need to nourish them a little bit. So I don't need a lot, you know, just that much. I don't know if you can see, that much per track. And it's just to help them glide and nourish them a little bit, because I want to make sure that when you have drawers that are kind of stuck, you go back and forth, and what it does is that it puts wear and tear on your on the mirror, and I don't want that to happen. So just going at it, and I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm basically just nourishing the tracks right now. That's it. It's not a big deal. Something that I feel that I need to do. Put a little bit more because it's really absorbing, and it's thirsty. And it smells wonderful. This is beeswax and orange. So let's see how well this slides back in. Like that. Beautiful. See that? The wax is doing its job. Beautiful. Let me put the rest of the drawers in. So far I've cleaned the whole piece, and I waxed the tracks inside the drawers, and I cleaned all the drawers in and out, right? So these are sliding beautifully now. Everything is clean. You can see that the oil that I had put on is gone, but I want to show you something. This is what the wood looks like once it's clean. Okay, it's got a, you know, nice sheen to it, but here is what it looks like after I use the product I'm going to show you. So I just did it on this panel here because I wanted to see whether or not it would darken it too much, so you can see without the restoring stain, and this is with the restoring stain. So it really brings back the beauty of the wood. So I did this one, but I did not do this one. So let me show you what I'm using for that. So I'm using the Restor-a-Finish by Howard product, and this one is in walnut. So what you do is that after you wash the piece and let it dry, and you saw that I was actually buffing it dry so that I don't have any water pooling in there, you take one of those quadruple zero, so it's 0000 number, steel wool. You put the product on it and you just go within the grain. So for instance, here I'm going to go up and down, here I'm going to go left and right, and once it's nicely put on, you wipe it dry and you let it dry. And depending on whether or not you have a finish already on your piece of furniture, because yes, this is being not polyurethane, but I think it already has had one of those finish on it. What happens is that it hardens to this beautiful lacquer, but that's not all I'm going to do because I'm waxing it after that. They recommend that you do use the wax I just used for the tracks after you do the Restor-a-Finish. So I'm going to put the camera down, and we are going to restore this panel here, and hopefully you'll be able to see a difference. So I'm done, and the whole piece is beautifully shine, and I hope you're going to be able to see that. So it didn't compromise the color of the wood, not too much. You see there's still the separation here of two woods, but look at this beautiful shine on it. And I'm still not done, so I have to wax it because they say to use the wax product right after that. So it's all done. The sides here, I did pull it off the wall, and I did the hidden side over there, but everything is just beautifully shined. Oh, I love it, I really do. And I got a little bit overzealous and used the leftover that was on the rag and put it on my chairs. So my Windsor chairs now have a I don't know if you can see, beautiful shine to them. And I did the same thing on my table. That table needs to be refinished, fully refinished, sanded and everything. But for now, it's just got this beautiful shine to it. And it's pretty much like the Rejuvenate, you know, it really is, except that it has color in it. So for now, what I need to do is let this dry. It's supposed to dry for at least 30 minutes because it becomes like a shell over it. And then you're supposed to use the Feed and Wax wood polish and conditioner. So I'm not sure how that helps since we kind of sealed everything here, but that's what they want you to do. So the instructions said you're supposed to saturate a small pad of cloth and wipe on, let stand at least 20 minutes and wipe off excess. Polish out with a clean soft cloth. So yeah, I'm going to be working on this for quite some time. Quite frankly, I could leave it like that, but nope, I want to put the wax on it because that's what's going to really, really nourish the wood. Though I don't know if you put this coat of varnish, well, it's not varnish, but Restore on it, doesn't it block the wax from getting in? It would make sense, right? Anyway, the only thing I need to do is clean the marble, which quite frankly doesn't really need it, but I have this Rock It oil stone foam stuff, and you just put it on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to put that foam all over and see if I can bring back some shine on this marble. If not, I'll put the Rejuvenate over it, because that's definitely going to bring back the beautiful sparkle in the marble. And there's some yellow staining inside. It's difficult to see whether or not it's, I don't know if you can see it right here. It's difficult to see if it's in the marble itself or if it's a stain. So when in doubt, polish it. Okay, so marble is clean, and I have a coat of Rejuvenate on it, so it makes it nice and shiny. And I use the Feed and Wax, and I put wax on all the drawers, not inside, but on the outside, because all that wood needs to be nourished. It's really, really dry. So what I'm going to do is start the Feed and Wax. I'm not sure why they want you to do that, but I'm going to do it, you know, because I want to do a good job and I want to do what you're supposed to do. However, I really don't get it how the wax is supposed to penetrate. But they say that you put on the wax to protect the finish you just put on. So maybe that's the reason why they want you to do wax. So put the camera down, and that would be my last step. So to free up some space on the other side, by the way, this is going to be for all of my table linen. This is dry. It's got a little bit of oil on it, but it's not stained. So it does have oil in it, obviously. Let's get the wax on, and that wax, I gotta tell you, it smells wonderful. So we're just gonna wax this whole thing. So you can't see what I'm doing, but I pulled the mirror away from the wall, and I'm putting a really thick coat of wax on all of the woodwork that's in the back, because that needs to be nourished. This is the area that gets neglected, and you know, it cracks. It's thirsty. This piece is thirsty, so I'm going to feed it with this wax, and I'm not going to buff it. I'm just going to leave it like that. And again, the only reason I'm doing this is to nourish the wood. I did it on the inside. I also did the side of the drawers with the wax. I did the tracks with the wax. So I'm really bringing this piece back to as though brand new. I mean, even though it's, you know, 150 years old, but I want it to last. That's the goal here. I want it to really, really last. So I am being very generous with this wax. This is not finished, the back here. So this is definitely going to penetrate the wood, and it's a good thing. So I'm done. 4.5 hours is how long it took, but it's done. And it looks fabulous. It really does look fabulous. My opinion only. I'm sure some of you will find it absolutely ridiculous to have a dresser in here. But if you remember back in the days before I got the big one right here, there was a dresser in there. So I'm going to put the linen in there in a minute, because I have to do padding at the bottom just to protect the linen from the wood, the wax and whatever, because everything has been waxed. Dovetail, the back, the tracks, the drawers, the outside of the drawers, not inside, everything has been waxed. So let me show you what it looks like, because it is, I think it's splendid, but just me. So here we go, and let me tell you, it looks brand new. It wasn't in bad shape to begin with, but now it looks really, really good. So I put my daffodils here, and then behind it, I gotta go get flowers for Easter. This is a signed Perry coil etched glass, so I'm gonna put some tall, probably Easter lilies in it, but here is the finished product, and it's super shiny. Yes, I remove all the wax. Well, I didn't remove all the wax. I removed the excess wax from it, and again I did wax the sides here. The dovetails have been waxed, so there's really no noise, or barely any, when you open those, because they're really gliding now, and the piece looks almost brand new. And I think it's fabulous what they did here. You wouldn't know if I had not told you that these used to be keyholes. The side right here is looking really, really pretty when you come into the house, but again I have to remove the big thing that's in the back. So what am I going to put on it? I don't know. Probably decorative items. Scott wants to put the decanter there. That would look pretty neat. And then probably a plant, some flowers here and there. But the good thing is that now I can actually serve food on this, because I didn't have a place to put dishes. You know, like a real sideboard, because the one I have over there is just too big and too tall, so I couldn't really serve dishes there. But now I can, you know, like when we have family events or friends over or Thanksgiving or whatever, I can actually put the food on here, and that is a good thing. So yep, I'm really, really loving it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and the work that I did on this. Let me know down below what you think of this dresser. Again, that's an, I got crumbs. Yeah, I just had a snack, I got crumbs. Again, this is an Eastlake style handkerchief or men's dresser, or dresser period. So if you are interested to look for something like this, look for Eastlake style dressers. And there's a lot of them in that style, but I gotta be honest, I have not found this one on the internet. In particular, this here on top. I found similar ones with the same 4 small drawers on top and the 2 drawers at the bottom, plus the kick plate or the hidden drawer. But I have, and these, they have these, but I'm yet to find one that has this flourish on the top. So I don't know, maybe it's a one of a kind. You never know. I'll talk to you later. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe right here in the corner, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching, you guys.